What's up, everybody? It's your friend Sheep Ludes. Let's talk generational packs and the market implications of them. I'm not sure why I started that like a Ken Burns docu-series, but you know what? I've been watching a lot of documentaries recently. Sometimes they rub off on you. Been watching a lot of World War I documentaries on YouTube specifically, which, not gonna lie, sounds boring, not quite as bad as you'd think. Yay! So we got the generational packs. I actually got pretty lucky in my pack opening yesterday for the first time ever, suspiciously while using VC that I purchased with a gift card for the first time since like November. I know, strange, right? But all in all, the pack odds are pretty terrible. Even with 3% dark matter odds, people are reporting still opening quite a few packs without dark matters at all. If not one or two of them, and those one or two being typically sometimes Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, but mostly Patrick Ewing and Jalen Green. Not exactly shocking. So, let's go over the cards that came out. Now, I did a little bit of this during the pack opening video yesterday, but I've kind of tooled around with a lot of these cards a little bit more since then. Whether that be in freestyle, offline, or even a couple online games of which I played. So, yeah, I mean, let's kind of look at the cards individually and go from there. We also got some new Evos and stuff of that nature, so that's cool. First things first, we got Jaden Hardy. He is discard value. You can get him for super cheap. The one thing I would say about Jaden Hardy is I think he is worth picking up for the simple fact if you're having to use Mavericks players for any reason, which I'm sure now that we're getting towards the end of the year, they're going to start giving us more like team-centric challenges, or at least that's what I hope anyway. Who knows what they actually do, but we'll see. The Mavericks are kind of a notoriously hard team to fill out, especially at the guard position. Well, the big man position is actually the worst because Dirk's always like super expensive. At least we have like Tyson Chandler this year, but besides the point. Jaden Hardy is like a John Stockton clone without the defense. He's aggressively okay, but I would say not really the greatest. That's something to kind of understand first and foremost. But for discard value, he's probably going to help you out quite a bit in the future. Looking at the roster of like Mavericks players that are available outside of like Luka and Dirk, who are always generationally expensive, it's kind of hard to fill that roster out, so Jaden Hardy's good for that. Lou Dort, you may notice a jump cut there. That is because the birds that are living in the wall over here are going absolutely bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. Straight up tweaking. I don't know why Gwen Stefani'd there, but you know, it is what it is. That song was awful, by the way. I don't know. There's been a lot of like weird kind of how do I put it, redemption for certain terrible songs and like terrible music acts over the last like 10-20 years, which is normal, but like a good example would be everyone loves the song If You Steal My Sunshine. I think that's what it's called, maybe just Sunshine, I don't know, but Len, everybody loves Len now, and I remember growing up in the 90s and they were like the most hated musical artist for a little bit, but everyone seems to love that song now. Anyways, that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Lou Dort, he's a relatively good card. I don't think there's anything specifically hype about him. He does have really good steal animations, and he's a fun enough card to use. 6'3" at the point guard, still a little small, but you know, he's a little beefier, you know. He's going to get you steals, and he'll be good for, like, steal-based challenges. I mean, there's certain guys in this game that are always really good for steal-based challenges, like John Stockton, Allen Iverson, Lou Dort. You know, and for that reason, I think he's worth picking up. Plus, he's, like, under discard value. I mean, not necessarily, but when you can discard him for 2,000, probably get him for, like, 2,500. There's ones for 3,000 MT that aren't selling, so he's super cheap. Dyson Daniels is probably one of, I would say, the best budget point guards in the game. And when I say budget point guards, I don't mean a point guard that's like 25k. I mean like literally under 10k, right? You can get Dyson Daniels for like 5,000 MT, and he's very solid. Top tier defensive tendencies like 95 pass intercept, 95 on ball steal, 85 contest, 85 block shot, good stuff. High take charge tendency, which honestly normally is an issue, but if you've been playing 2K23 all year, you know that taking charges, very overpowered, and he'll actually do that quite often. So, you know, you might actually get some, you know, some stops. The release is good. He kind of releases it a little low, though, like towards his chin. So it's a little bit easier to contest. Dude, these birds are driving me insane. Anyways, good, though. Not quite as bad as like a Sean Marion, etc. Now, look, there's going to be a bunch of different point guards that are in this kind of like tier, like your Jalen Roses. Who's like another one that's in that like 6'6" tier? Kevin Porter Jr. Dyson Daniels is like 6'7", but Bonga. So there are a bunch of different options, but I actually think Dyson Daniels is really, really good. It's just the top tier defense that he plays. He's not going to have the best shooting badges, but he plays such good defense and he has such good defensive badges that I think he's actually worth a try. You may like him more than like a Jalen Rose or a Sean Livingston or like a Bonga. He's good. He's worth a try, especially if you're running like an extreme budget squad, and like he's not going to cost you very much, which I think is super important. So Zach LaVine. He's literally just a level 40 Zach LaVine. There's absolutely nothing different about it. Like, nothing. Not one thing. Don't worry, the birds have calmed down. They've stopped screeching incessantly. I hate them, I'll be honest. I really do. Shout out to birds, I guess, if any birds are watching this, but, like, these particular birds, I hate them. Yeah, Zach LaVine kind of sucks. I mean, if you didn't get level 40 Zach LaVine, pick him up. He's like 3,000 MT, but, he's not particularly good. I wish they would have made him at least a little bit better, because I would have liked to use a Zach LaVine card. But that just means we're getting like a dark matter that plays point guard relatively soon. Cedric Maxwell. Maxwell's good. He looks a little bit bigger than 6'8", but like he looks max 6'9". He's not like crazy. But he plays really confident defense. He's got very, very, very good shooting badges and jump shot. Like the O'Shea Brissett release I think is a wee bit overrated, but it's still good. Like he's good. He can curry slide. His defensive tendencies are horrendous though, but it depends who you have on if I would recommend running Cedric Maxwell, right? So like if you're running Danny Ferry and Andre Karolinko, there's really no reason to run Cedric Maxwell. And by the way, when I bring up his shooting badges, like I just realized like, sometimes you get ingrained in like the way that you talk about cards, but like it's May 13th. Every single card is going to have good shooting badges. I don't know why I'm tripping. Also, I was mistaken. He doesn't have guard up or dead eye, which are very important, but this is called self-reflection. It's all good. He's good. I feel like if he was a shooting guard, people would be a little bit more hyped on him, but he's still really good. Harold Miner is surprisingly fun. Like, he's one of those cards that is what I call like a database merchant, right? So like you look on the database at this card and he doesn't look good. Like he looks okay, but he doesn't really look good. The Derrick Rose release, I personally like it, but some people don't. He can curry slide. He's got curry size up. His defensive tendencies don't really look that well. His shooting badges are good. Like all of his badges are just like pretty good, but he outplays how he looks on the database. I promise he does. Now, should you be using him over like a Kevin Porter Jr.? I actually think maybe, because I think he's a little bit better defensively, but he's worth a shot. I mean, you can get him for like 6,000 MT. Like he's worth picking up. For the sole fact, hey, also, he came out of college, they called him Baby Jordan. That's a reason to pick him up, right off the bat. Sean Bradley sucks. I mean, let's be real. You're going to deploy him because he's huge, and if that's the goal, then cool. But he's slow and can't shoot. He's not very good. What jump shot does he even have? Let me check. He's got Brooke Lopez on very quick. Ew. The 99 contest shot, 99 block shot are good, though, and if you have to do anything in relation to blocking shots, Sean Bradley is straight up one of the best shot blockers in the entire game, so he might be worth picking up for offline challenge things for the future coming seasons. Chris Mullin's fun. Chris Mullin's, he's not going to wow you, but he's incredibly fun. Like, that's what I'll say about Chris Mullin. Like, once again, defensive tendencies are horrible. Chris Mullin release, really, really good. Reminds me of kind of Ray Allen's a little bit. He can move. He's got kind of a weird moveset, though. He's got, like, Kobe escape with, like, Devin Booker size up, which is kind of weird, but whatever. Obviously, max shooting badges, good defensive badges. He's fast. He's fun. You might enjoy him if you're looking to shake things up and use someone a little bit different. I'm looking to pick up a hollow Chris Mullin for collection purposes. Sean Marion, just like always, terrible jump shot. The jump shot itself, like, I hate that it's terrible because it's actually really good and easy to time. It's just he releases it at his nipples, so it's like very easy to contest, and contests rule everything this year, being it's a green or miss affair. So he's just like someone you can't use, which sucks because he's so much fun. Like he is. He rim runs really well. He obviously plays electric defense. They kind of hoed him on the defensive tendencies, though. I feel like at this stage, if you're going to release Sean Marion, he needs to have like the best defensive tendencies that you can like possibly give someone. But they didn't do that, and they kind of hoed him on the dribbling too. I just feel with Sean Marion's jump shot, if you're not going to change it, which Sean Marion's jump shot is very distinctive, so I feel like it's rude to change it. You need to max everything else out so that he's cracked. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is very good. I got like 105,000 for the one I sold last night. He's very solid. Defensive tendencies aren't great. They're okay enough. He's just not going to rip the ball. He's got 25 on-ball steal, but he does play pretty confident defense. He's good for sure. He's somebody that I used all year. Like I used Diamond Shai as my point guard for months, you know. And I still use him for like clutch time offline and stuff. I'll run him in the Dort duo. I still enjoy using the card, but he's not worth his price currently right now. Like if you have him, you'd be better served selling him for what is going to be slightly over 100K right now, because I guarantee when the super packs come out, he's going to be 70, 80K at the absolute maximum. So, but he's still fun. Like, don't get me wrong. And I respect anyone who runs Shai, because I like Shai. He's one of my favorite players in the NBA. Jalen Green. He's relatively cheap. You can get him for around, I think last I checked, 60K, and that was yesterday. So he's probably a little bit cheaper than that. Even at this point, I see some for 68 that haven't sold yet. So I'm assuming he's closer to like 50 now. He's good, but like I talked about yesterday, it's hard to justify picking Jalen Green up because he's essentially the same as Kevin Porter Jr. with a worse jump shot, right? Which, by the way, not saying his jump shot's bad. It's very solid. But he's Kevin Porter Jr. with a worse jump shot. You know what I mean? Which, like I said, not inherently bad, just truthful. He's got abysmal defensive tendencies. I don't even talk about badges anymore because, like, all badges are basically the same. He does have, like, Darius Garland size up and, like, Curry escapes. His dribble moves are a little bit better, I think, personally, or a little bit easier for the vast majority of people to, like, master and use. But it's a price difference. Like, why pay 50K for Jalen Green when you can quite literally go get Kevin Porter Jr. for an absolute fraction of the price? Kevin Porter Jr. is kind of expensive. I didn't realize he had gone up. He was like 10,000 MT last week. But I mean, he's still half the price of Jalen Green. Like, don't get it twisted. But I might sell KPJ since I'm not even using him anyway at this stage. It's all good. Vince Carter's good. I mean, he's a top 5 shooting guard for sure. You can, I don't know, man. It's kind of tough to really say if you should pick up Vince Carter. I feel like Vince Carter is very good for his value at this stage, though. Like, you're getting a very, very good shooting guard for under 200K, or at least right around 200K, which is worth it. But at the same time, this is a sign of things to come. Like, we know what type of cards we're going to be getting next season, so it's hard to justify spending 200K on Vince Carter at this stage. I mean, it really is. And honestly, typically there's not a huge difference between a shot on very quick and a shot on quick, but there are certain jump shots that I actually think there's a little bit of a difference in, like, how easy it is to time, specifically online. And I feel like, for me at least, Kuzma base is like harder to time on very quick than it is on quick. I felt this way with things like base 98 in the past. I feel like there was a jump shot last year that I had the same issue with, and I just can't remember what it was. But Vince Carter, he's good. Patrick Ewing. Ewing is a very interesting card, okay? So I was running him at power forward, you know, next to Hakeem. Just kind of trying him out. He's 7 foot with a 7'3" wingspan, so his player build's huge. He's also got the knee brace and some, like, Reebok pumps on, which is super sick. He's got 90 speed, so he's kind of quick. He doesn't really move the ball very well, but he can dribble. I mean, he's got, like, DeMar DeRozan size up, which is kind of weird, but Chet Holmgren has that too. So does Dirk, so it's like a very weird size up. Kobe escape, which isn't ideal, but like Manute and Yao Ming have it, so it's, I don't know, it's just like the generic big man one that they're using now, I guess. You know, his defensive tendencies are elite too. Honestly, if you're not going to create directly with Patrick Ewing, which you under no circumstances should be doing, yeah, the birds agree with me. I feel like the Birdman of Alcatraz right now, minus the horrific crimes. God. At least I'm not covered in bird excrement, I suppose. You might want to try Patrick Ewing out. I don't know. He's kind of expensive, though. I feel like there's a lot better power forwards you could be picking up that are going to be significantly cheaper, but he's not half bad. 88K is a little bit expensive for him. Like, I would say 80K is a little much, but Patrick Ewing could surprise you with how beneficial he'll be to your team. Plus, we have like no big men available, so it's nice to have a fast, kind of bigger big man. He looks a little bigger because of his flat top too, you know. And then let's talk Invincible. There's T-Mac. Yeah, I mean, what is there to say? It's the best card in the game. It's not even close, right? It's just how it is. Like, Radiant T-Mac still top 3. I would say probably top 2 shooting guard. Honestly, due to his size, he's probably still better than Dissinger. But, yeah, I mean, there's not much to say there, right? What even is there to say? We've also got some Evos. So, I feel like they've kind of trapped themselves in a corner with this like Evo plan for the playoffs, right? Where it's kind of weird. It's like they've gotten a bunch of cards to the point where they can't really even give them Evo anymore based on their own pacing. You know, like, yeah, you can make Jamal Murray a 40 Hoff Jamal Murray. Cool, yeah. I mean, Jokic can get one, I guess. Like, another one, like, makes him better. Like, cool. But at this stage, I just feel like it's... I don't know. I feel like they pushed themselves into a corner with it. But, you know, it's worth kind of looking, seeing. Hopefully, like, Lonnie Walker gets another one. That would be cool. I feel like they're not going to do that, though, even if he does pop off because he's, like, a free card. They don't want to make him too good. That would be nice to see. They need to do something with this, though, before, like, the Spotlight challenges, like, these need to have better prizes. Or they at least need to be auctionable at this stage. Like, the fact that we're still ending these series with like playoff packs, non-auctionable deluxe playoff packs is horrendous. Like, I gotta play 6 games, and in those 6 games I get 1 non-auctionable pack, 5 tokens. Like, 5 tokens, come on, man. 2500 MT, and then 2 deluxe. At least you get a Hoff badge, I guess, but it's kind of like I didn't get one for some of these. It's just, I don't know, man. It's a whole mess. I hate it. It's just a lot. It's a lot to do for not very little, you know. Shout out to the Suns for collapsing, by the way. I'm sorry if you're a Suns fan. It's just like, shout out to the Knicks for collapsing too. Now we have to watch the most boring finals of all time, more than likely Celtics versus Heat. Shout out, well, not finals, but conference finals. That's good stuff. Appreciate that. Salute. Now, is there anyone that you should pick up from this set or from past sets now that they're a bit cheaper? None of these cards are cheaper. I mean, Marc Gasol's still really good, but he's really expensive. I think if you're in the market for a big man, I think you're better off picking up Marc Gasol than you would be picking up like Patrick Ewing, for instance. I feel like Marc Gasol is just significantly better. With that jump shot, some people hate it, by the way, but I feel like his size kind of brings you more too, so I feel like that's kind of better. Jaden Hardy, I would recommend picking up for future Mavs challenges if you plan on doing like agenda stuff. Like, that's going to be helpful for you. Lou Dort will help you for steals. Dyson Daniels, if you're looking for a super budget-friendly point guard, he's worth picking up for sure. Same with Harold Miner. It depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for offense, grab Miner. Looking for defense, grab Dyson Daniels. No reason to pick up Zach LaVine unless you really like Zach LaVine. That's it. Maxwell's good, and he's cheap. But I feel like there's just a lot of other small forwards you can pick up. They're going to bring you kind of the same benefit. Like, I would say even like regular Hito brings you a lot of benefit too. Just guys like that, you know, like Kuzma still exists. I feel like Kuzma is probably a better option than Cedric Maxwell due to his size and jump shot. It just depends if you like O'Shea or Kuzma base, really. But he's still good. Sean Bradley, if you're looking to do block challenges, he's pretty cheap, so it's worth probably picking him up. Plus, the Nets big man situation is rough too, so for future Nets challenges, worth picking up. Chris Mullin's pretty fun, but he's overall unexciting. But if you're a Chris Mullin fan, cool. Sean Marion, I mean, honestly, there's no real reason to pick him up, I don't think. That's just my own opinion. Shea's good, but a little too expensive. Also, his price is wildly kind of swinging around. Like, you can get one for 100K, some of them are going to go for 150. It's weird. None of them have badge editions or anything. Jalen Green seems fun, but honestly, you're better off just picking up Kevin Porter Jr. Vince Carter's cool, and if you got it like that, he's worth picking up, but I just feel like we're going to get better cards in the near future. Patrick Ewing's fun, but like I said, you're better off picking up Marc Gasol. Or, if you still got time grinding for Hakeem, then, doing Patrick Ewing in general, or picking up like Peter Gundamson, or just like one of the budget-friendly big men. Like Gundamson's still pretty good, so he's worth probably going to take a perspective pickup on. There's also guys like Arvydas Sabonis and stuff that are still out there. So, it is what it is. But as always, it's your friend Sheep Ludes, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.